of the party's grassroots who say they feel sidelined after the NDC's return to power.
A lot later, NPP presidential hopeful Brian Achampong confident of his chances as the party goes to the polls in about 3 months to elect a flag bearer.
This is News Central. I'm Kemini Amanor.
And I am Mawuena Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now.
Now, this afternoon, the Minority Caucus has strongly condemned ongoing plans by government to consolidate AT with Telecel, alleging that the Communication Ministry is hastily attempting to dispose of AT, a strategic national asset. Ranking member on the Information and Communication Committee, Matthew Nyindam, accused the current Communication Minister, Sam Nate George, of rejecting a proposal by Canadian firm Rectron to purchase shares in AT to merge the telco with Telecel to pursue a personal agenda. He also says the ongoing arrangement lacks parliamentary oversight and must be immediately halted for parliamentary inquiry. Let's connect now with Christian Yale, who's in Parliament for us. Christian, good afternoon to you. Let's talk quickly about this recent development in Parliament. We understand that was a long statement. Give us a bit more detail.
Things have rejected the ongoing consolidation by the communications minister to merge AT with Telecel Ghana. Now, let's just lay some premises here. One, they say that they are not against private sector, investment. However, it is more about the manner in which the communications minister and even government is going about this, which is the problem. Now, you would understand or recall that earlier, Canada-based company or firm Rectron announced that it is going to purchase some high shares in Airtel Ghana or AT to boost it. That would have, in other words, enhanced the operations of AT Ghana. But the minority claims the communications minister rejected that offer and chose to merge AT Ghana with Telecel, which is also largely owned by the private sector, which is a concern for them. They realize that doing so, or going ahead to do that in a way would, cause or bring about a duopoly. And they see it as this duopoly eventually ending up to become a monopoly where you'd have only MTN Ghana, which is now termed as the SMP, dominating the market, and call it, once MTN is no more, then it becomes that the whole sector crashes. And so what? They have a simple, request for the president to intervene, direct his communications minister to halt the ongoing transaction or the ongoing consolidation process, and also bring the whole transaction before Parliament for a parliamentary inquiry. But I have here with me the ranking member on the Information and Communications Committee of Parliament, Matthew Nyindam, who addressed the press on this thorny issue. Honorable, you are welcome. You are live on News Central on TV3. What are your main concerns over this transaction?
Yes, just like you rightly said, our concern basically is to let the minister know that the way he's going about the telecommunication sector is not helpful to the people of this country. Like you said, we are not against privatization. We have no issues with Telecel. We have no issues with Recton. But our issue is that, look, if we are going to do something for AT, it should be transparent. It should be carrying everybody on board. And we should look for a strategic investor that will serve as who will end up being a huge block in the telecom sector, not limiting it to only Telecel and MTN. And we think that looking at the assets, looking at the expertise, what AT needs simply is capital injection. That's all they need. And if you have a company like Recton that is prepared, which the minister actually started with, the minister signed an MOU with them for a 60-40. And they are investing $150 million within the first year. And they are preparing to invest over $1 billion within the 5 years. And I think that if the minister gives them the opportunity, or look for any other strategic partner and invest hugely in AT, which is our own, it will benefit Ghanaians. And that monopoly, that seeming monopoly that MTN is enjoying, it is going to end, because the billing system of AT is much fair and much better for the ordinary Ghanaians than the...
But there are some who say that this would also help to bring about competition in the industry, as it were. Don't you agree with that? And also, when you listen to the minister's media engagement earlier, he had spoken about the pros, more or less, of this direction to merge AT with Telisol. It's all in good faith, isn't it?
No, it's not going to help us. Just like we said, AT is a merger of Tigo and what? Telisol. Airtel Tigo. Yes, I get him. So there are two companies that have come together. It did not help us. At the end of the day, it is liquid. At the end of the day, it is capital. At the end of the day, it is about huge capital investment. So we think that, yes, he may have a good intention by thinking that he's bringing Telisol and AT together. But for now, I can tell you that the problems of Telisol and the problems of AT are very similar. So you can't bring two weak companies together and think that you are building a stronger company. We don't believe so.
But essentially, per the minister's narrative, we've not lost anything by moving or migrating the customers on AT onto Telesol's roaming, which is one. But also, I mean, the fact or the conversation about the fact that when you look at it, take or leave it, this is going to be, I mean, and from what the minister has said, it is going to be in the interest of the country. They have probably undertaken their own assessment and all of that before getting into that. You remember that KPMG was contracted to also conduct some survey into all of this.
It is the more reason why we are calling on the president to actually get the minister to see how he can fix AT. The KPMG report that you are talking about, it is not known to the two of us. He commissioned KPMG to actually be the financial advisor to him on Recton, not Telisol. So for the Telisol deal, it is only known to him, the minister only. That directive he has given, we think that it has even cost AT about 7 million Ghana cedis in 1 month, just directing the customers of AT to roam on Telisol.
But Sam George has also mentioned that you know, getting AT for $1 has also, you know, cost the country about some 3.5 billion cedis, which the companies are asking government to pay.
You see, if you look at the move that Osler did, in any case, Airtel was living. They were living. They will realize that they were not profitable, so they were living. So strategically, to save workers of Airtel was the move to acquire it 100%. So the move was to save customers. That is all. And it was procured at $1. Are you getting what I'm saying? Although there was an allegation from Sam George that it was about $250 million, he's not been able to prove it as we speak. So what we are saying is that, look, the telecom sector is a very sensitive sector. We cannot leave it in the hands of only one. Or, as we spoke about the duopoly, it's not going to help, because if you put two companies together, and at the end of the day, a stronger one managed to collapse the second one, it means that automatically it becomes a monopoly. So we think that AT is a state-owned company. We should look for a strategic investor, an investor that is ready and has the financial muscles to invest in AT. And if they do that, I'm telling you, the monopoly or the semi-monopoly that MTN thinks is going to enjoy is going to break. I'm telling you. But if we decide to bring two weak companies like Telisol and AT, thinking that we are doing Ghanaians any favor. We are not doing any Ghanaians any favor.
So for you...
Let me add. We are also saying that whatever transaction that the minister intends to do or to take, it must be transparent. It must come to the parliament for all of us to scrutinize and have proper oversight over it. That's simply what we ask for him to do. Right. Simple.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I've been engaging the ranking member on the Information and Communications Committee of Parliament, Matthew Yendam, on this issue. You remember earlier in September, the Minister Sam George engaged the media and among many other things, noted with worry what he sees to be, some bit of mismanagement by the erstwhile administration, which has plunged the country into indebtedness on that front, which the minority today has discounted or dispelled. They are asking the minister to halt the ongoing consolidation of AT with Telecel and bring the whole transaction before Parliament. They want the details to scrutinize word by word to see if it is indeed in the interests of the country, as it were. And so that has been it. That is the tour, like you indicated earlier. It was actually a very detailed presser addressed by the minority on this front. But we wait to see whether the president, as it were, and as they've demanded of him to intervene in this, would do so as they want him to do. Back to you, Kemini.
Well, Christian Yali there with that report and interview with the ranking on the Communications Committee of Parliament. We'll now turn attention to other stories.
Well, the government and the leadership of the ruling National Democratic Congress are coming under intense pressure from sections of the party's grassroots who say they feel sidelined after the NDC's return to power. Some supporters and campaign volunteers have taken to social media and local party platforms to express disappointment, demanding recognition and job opportunities in return for their efforts during the campaign. Party leadership has since been engaging stakeholders across the country, appealing for calm and unity while assuring members that their concerns are being addressed. Officials say leadership is developing practical and fair ways to resolve issues relating to jobs, welfare, and inclusion within the party structure. Let's engage Deputy Forestry Commission boss Eli Kem Kotoko, who's joining us on this subject matter. But as well, we'll hear from the chair of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who has been going around touring on a thank you tour as well in relation to this. But let's connect right now with Eli Kem Kotoko. Eli Kem, thank you very much for joining us. Many grassroots members, and I'm sure you yourself would have come under some pressure, messages in your DMs amongst many others, asking that where are the jobs? After the party's win, there's been a neglect of some sort. What is the reality you're facing to start off with? And then we can begin to talk about what steps are being taken to address these concerns among the rank and file.
Thank you so much, my brother, and good afternoon to your viewers. Sincerely, what has been said on your platform is no different from the reality on the ground. Indeed, many of us are fully aware that there was a ticking time bomb right from when we were in opposition to when we got into power. That is of the teeming unemployment in our youth. And there's a need for us to make sure we close that gap to avoid the major national security threat it poses to a country. Yes, I agree that myself as an appointee of His Excellency the President, the core mandate we have is not only to perform and do well in terms of the field we find ourselves, but that is also to make sure that we create opportunities for Ghanaians so that they can also find jobs to do. It is understandably okay with the concerns being raised by the many of our young men and women who feel, I don't think they feel neglected. They rather feel that they are in a haste. They feel that they must be employed immediately, and they feel they're employable. But admit me to say that they would only seek their tolerance and patience, which is very key. But most importantly, there's a need for a proper assessment of the situation. Then we can be able to escalate further what actions need to be taken. You agree with me that no major recruitments are being done yet, but you would agree also with what the YEA through its CEO, Malik Basintali, has been doing with some mass recruitment at the low-level area in terms of the 2,000 here, 3,000 here for the prisons or the fire service and all of that. National security may be doing some, but the general agencies have not really done any of such yet. But we must say that it is not to rule out the fact that these are genuine concerns. But some of the agencies have some issues. There are issues of overstaffing. There are issues of proper forensic audit to know who has got what qualification to actually get what job in the past years. Was somebody promoted unduly? Was somebody not qualified and placed somewhere? Was a square peg put in a round hole? There are some people even with fake certificates. And so it's just a matter of time. I can only add my voice also to that which has already been said by many of our stalwarts within the party, that our comrades and Ghanaians should just restrain themselves and have a little more patience. President Mahama's ultimate aim is to provide jobs for the youth. As he and his team is working assiduously, the ultimate aim is to expand the frontiers, not to only provide jobs, but provide opportunities for many so they can also do what they think they want to do. There may be somebody who at the moment is unemployed, but may not necessarily need a job, because what he needs is an opportunity to advance what skills or intellectual ability that he can push forward in order to be successful in whatever field he or she finds himself. So a little bit more of patience will do. We have taken notice of that. I am wearing two caps as a deputy CEO of Forestry Commission and also as deputy national organizer of the governing party. So I understand the concerns. It is not as if anybody has neglected them. There is an overwhelming pressure on that. Not everybody will get job the first day, the second day, or the third day. There will be job creation revenues made from now till even over a 4-year period. And so
I hear you. I hear you and the explanation you're offering. But for persons who feel they've worked for the party, they were pivotal in courses of action which led to the victory of the NDC, what is acceptable timelines they can look forward to over these concerns of jobs? And then I'll come to, perhaps I'll ask that as well, so that you just tackle that for me because of time. What the party leadership is seeking to do, unfortunately, it does appear we may have lost Elikem Kotoko via Zoom, but let's hear from the chair of the NDC as well, Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Like I mentioned, he's been going around the country on a thank you tour. He's also been speaking to the issues of jobs and the concerns a number of the party folks have been bringing to him. Let's listen.
Equally, if you don't support President Mahama to deliver on those promises, Ghanaians have never forgotten where they took us from before they brought us onto the seat. If it becomes necessary for them to take us back, they know the way to take us back. And so, in our struggle for positions, don't let us conduct ourselves in ways that will frustrate the achievement of the manifesto promises. It is our ability to achieve the manifesto promises that will enable Ghanaians to keep us in power. And if we are in power for long, the ministerial position you didn't get this time around, you may get it another time. So the key to our common success is to come together and support the government to deliver on our manifesto promises.
That's the chair of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, and thankfully Elikem is back on Zoom with us again. Elikem, I was asking about acceptable timelines for some of the people who feel they've worked hard enough for the party to return, and hearing the chair of the party as well say that, look, come together and let's work to ensure that the NDC continues to remain in power. How do you tell persons who feel aggrieved that they've worked hard enough, they haven't got jobs, to still come together and want to push for the party to remain in power?
Yeah, I agree. The question is more or less like putting me in a round hole and asking me to urinate in the corner. There's no corner there. But the truth is that we appreciate these concerns. As you will know, the party wrote on a manifesto to come to power. For instance, if the president is rolling out the National Apprenticeship Program, that will play a pivotal role for those who want to learn a skill and other things. So in rolling out our manifesto, that is also going to be opening up job avenues and opportunities. You agree with me that at the formation of the Gold Board, for instance, I mean, it takes human beings to work over there. Our communications officer, Comrade Sami Jemfi, is working with very young, enterprising Ghanaians over there. That created an opportunity to recruit a lot of people over there as well. It is the reason why we need our people to understand that even though timelines cannot be given, but we all know that government has a 4-year period. It is not to say that everybody should wait for 4 years, but within the shortest possible time, as we are rolling out our manifesto promises contained in the manifesto, it will be outlining or providing job avenues that many of them would also be taking advantage of. And this is something I know that they are all aware they will. It is just the patience and the tolerance, which is difficult because the economic pressures they have endured over the past few years up to now has not been easy at all. It is also the reason why we cannot provide everything at a go, but we must always listen to them. And just like the national chairman said, indeed, we need to still continue to work together for the success of this government. And that is what is going to create the enabling environment and atmosphere to soak everybody in for the opportunities that they need to take advantage of.
Matter. Is it the case that the approach to the politicking and everything is creating a problem because everybody wants a job after the party has won when you should be working towards the development of the country amongst many other things? Are both parties, I say both parties because this was experienced under the NPP as well, are both parties approaching the governance all wrong in terms of how the party is going around doing its work in the lead up to winning the election, such that these pressures come up and it could force you to lose focus in terms of the development of the country, which is the reason why you clamored for power anyways?
Not at all. Not at all. It would be a very misplaced argument if anybody wants to suggest so. People getting jobs is part of the development agenda of a country. When they get jobs, they are not working only for themselves, they are working for the country. So the only concern is to tell you that in Africa, jobs are a major campaign tool, or campaign message. And therefore, we must also put in much effort to ensure we close that gap as much as we can. Then the will now even move from jobs to another thing on the other. So people coming to do jobs or to get an atmosphere to work is contributing their quota to national development. It is undoubtedly true that they also make a living out of that, but it does not rule out the fact that that is an avenue to promote or to push the Ghanaian agenda. So it is never wrong for both political parties or politicians to promise. So jobs are being promised and it is being created. I mean, to give you an example, the construction works that are going on, the research agenda, if there's construction work going on, there are people. It also depends the class of people that are looking for the job. Some are already employed, but they want to switch or upgrade. Some want to just transfer across, amongst other things. There are some who have no work at all and want just to earn a living. So we need to put them all right. But the substantive matter remains that we must create better opportunities for people, and not only those who we think work for the NDC.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you speaking to us. Asalikem Kotoko is a deputy at the Forestry Commission, speaking to us on what is a pressing challenge for the NDC and its leadership as some grassroots in different platforms continue to pile pressure about jobs. We bring you stories from the other side of the political divide.
Now, this afternoon, NPP presidential aspirant Brian Achampong says he is confident of victory despite several polls putting him behind the two front-runners, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy Amanor. According to him, his team is adopting varied strategies to ensure they win convincingly. We'll now connect with Crosby Annan, who's been sitting through an event where Brian has been talking about his chances in the Greater Accra region. Crosby, what more can you report from there?
Brian Achampong is very confident of winning the Greater Accra region. He says that after a tour of every constituency in the region, he and his team, they organize some sort of polls from them. And that is what is making him very confident. He says that the good constituencies are putting him somewhat between 70 and 80%, and for a few constituencies, somewhere below 50%. So he's very confident that in the Greater Accra region, he's going to win. He's also touching a bit about what pollsters have been saying in various polls concerning the MPP primaries, and he has no regard for those polls whatsoever. He says they are only psychological machines, and the real polls will be on the day of the elections. That's when we'll know who the real delegates are and what the delegates want. He's accusing, or he's alleging, that some polls are coming from people who have paid for them, so they may not reflect exactly what the real sentiment or the real desires of the electorate are. He's been talking about other things, but we can listen to what he said exactly on the polls, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Well, let's take a listen to him then.
To put up polls that put myself ahead of others. I'm sure that I can have some friendly posters and do same for me. They do not concern me. Most of these polls are psychological operations on the system, totally meaningless. I don't intend to sponsor polls in my favor. I'm sure that I shouldn't be in any doubt that if I wanted to, I could. I think that the polls are on the ground. So you go on the grounds to the actual delegates in the constituencies, and you get the answers. I'm here in this campaign office. Many people come with their polls, and you are winning, you are 90%, you are 70%. Give us money so that we're going to put it in the papers, put it on online portals. I'm not interested in any of that. I mean, I've seen some polls that put me at 1%, and some aspirants who are not even going, who have not left their bedrooms at 20%. And it's quite interesting, some of these polls. So please, I'm not concerned about that at all. The day of the election, January 31st, we will all see what the real polls look like.
Well, Crosby, we've just heard Brian Echampong on his response to the polls that put him behind Kennedy Agyapong and former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. But specifically, what did he say about his chances of carrying the vote in the Greater Accra region?
So, Kemini, the man is very sure that in the Greater Accra region, he is going to win the elections if the elections are held today. He says he has taught about 31 of the constituencies in the Greater Accra region. There's 4 more for him to visit, and that he's doing today. After the visits, I mean, it is going to guarantee his win of the Greater Accra region. He's talking specifically for the Greater Accra region. For the other regions, when he goes there, he's going to administer the same questionnaire, the same polls to the delegates, and that will tell him what his chances of winning those regions will be.
Very well. We can now take a listen to him on that as well.
After every tour, visiting any and every constituency, we poll. Post my visit to the place, we conduct polls, extensive polls. We poll a minimum of 25% of the voting population in that constituency. There are 10 questions that we put to them. From the team, we always become confident with the numbers that come up. In Greater Accra, all the polls that we have conducted, and I will be happy to share some of the constituencies with you after this, so you understand the kind of questions we ask and the answers we get, and how we're able to predict that we're going to do well in these constituencies. Where for the good ones, we're polling about 75-80%. I think that what we have seen was one which was lower 50%. And those were just 2 constituencies out of the 34. And everything else that we have polled has been above 70%. So well, plus or minus 5%.
Well, Brian Echampong is an MPP presidential aspirant. Earlier was Crosby Yanan, our reporter on the ground.
Take you to the heart of the Ashanti region, Kumasi, to be specific, because the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly Clinic, the KMA Clinic, and 9 other health facilities have been shut down by the Health Facilities and Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, as part of ongoing enforcement exercise in the Ashanti region. Now, when the HEFRA compliance and enforcement team arrived at the KMA clinic, they discovered that the facility had been operating for years without a license. The action forms part of efforts to clamp down on health facilities operating without the required licenses and proper documentation. Some dental clinics, maternity homes, physiotherapy, and eye care centers operating in the region have been embroiled in several infractions. So far, 18 health facilities across the region have been closed since the exercise began. Enoch Kwame Bafwa Jekum is with Akomara FM. He's followed this exercise. Let's get a bit more in terms of the details from Enoch. Enoch, thank you very much. Talk to us about the exercise as conducted by HEFRA. How did it go?
Mawuena, so far so good. 18 health facilities in the Ashanti region have been closed down for operating without licenses. This follows 2 days routine inspection by the HEFRA compliance and enforcement team. So, like earlier what you made mention, so basically, KMA clinic operating within Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly premises also closed down, operating many years without HEFRA licenses. And one of the biggest companies within Kumasi, that's Guinness Clinic, also was also closed down without also licenses, and many more facilities like dental clinic and physiotherapy and other health facilities also were also closed down because most of them are not having licenses. And the main focus of the compliance and the enforcement team in Ashanti region was that most of these facilities were operating without licenses. Some of them are quack, and some of them also are substandard, so they don't meet the requirement of HEFRA. So this made them came to Kumasi to crack down this creep. So according to them, these facilities those facilities who were closed down are supposed to pay 25,000 penalty, so that they will be giving what do you call the licenses, and after that you also go there and inspect whether they meet the standard of HEFRA. And the interesting thing is that the licenses cost 3,000 Ghana. It is not any money that is more than maybe the 25,000. So it means that they are going to pay more before these facilities that have been closed down will be opening to them. So currently, according to the team, they are waiting for them to come and then make a payment before these facilities will be open to them.
All right, and just quickly, how long is HEFRA intending to continue on this exercise in ensuring that they clamp down on hospitals, facilities which are operating without a required license?
So according to them, the regional team will proceed with the exercise. So it's not that it's one day wonder. It's not that maybe after this exercise they will let everything hanging. But the regional HEFRA team will proceed with the exercise and crack down the others, because they are targeting about 200 health facilities without licenses and substandard. So actually, we are giving the routine to the regional team to proceed, and they are expecting, like what I mentioned, they are expecting to crack down 200 facilities so far. So this is what HEFRA is doing. And speaking to the team, they were saying that yesterday, 50 facilities came there to make a payment. So right, including those that were shut down. So I think this exercise is eye-opener for most of them. All right,
let's hear from Dr. Ajiman Bedu, who's the Director of Compliance and Enforcement at HEFRA. But thank you as well.
I would say so far so good. We have been able to visit 20 facilities, and out of that we've been able to close down 18 of them. The exercise continues unabated. We intend to do more over the coming days. We are just from Greater Accra, we are in Ashanti. Other regions should be in wait for us. We expect that people will do the right thing by making sure that they are using the right personnel, by making sure that they have HEFRA license before they begin their operations, by making sure that whenever their HEFRA licenses expire, they take expeditious steps to have them renewed. And that is the essence of our mandate. Our mandate says that we are to license all health facilities, both public and private. So we want to sound a warning to all the public health facilities as well, that the target is not private health facilities. We are coming after all health facilities, both public and private. So all health facilities in the country, labs, hospitals, clinics, maternity homes, ultrasound facilities and all that, should take steps to make sure that they comply with the law so that Ghanaians will be safe wherever they go for healthcare service. It is an offense under Section 23A of our Act to operate a health facility without license. It is also an offense under Section 23B of our Act to operate with an expired license. It is an offense to operate an equipment in an unlicensed facility. So we believe that with all this we have said, health facilities will take expeditious steps.
That's Dr. Ajiman Bedu. He's the Director of Compliance at HEFRA. It will take us on to our very first break here on News Central. When we return, we have a bit more stories for you if you stay. Please do stay tuned in.
Now, a month after a violent disturbance led to the death of a local assembly member, Asanko Mines is committing to dialogue to resolve its ongoing conflict with surrounding communities. The company has pledged to intensify its community development efforts, aligning with government directives to secure a peaceful operational environment. Now, this comes after years of rising tensions with residents of Manso Tontokrom and Impetrim, who have been protesting over mining concessions. For more, we're joined by Ibrahim Abubakar, correspondent in the Ashanti region. Ibrahim, what more can you tell us about this development?
Well, Kemini, for now, I can say that relative calm has returned to the conflict areas, though a military presence remains to secure the mines operation. Now, Asanko Mines has adopted the conciliatory tone. They have acknowledged that violence-free environment is essential to its operational efficiency. And for that matter, going forward, they will resort to dialogue rather than also attacking some of the residents who do not agree with whatever operation that they are making. And the company's next phase also involves scaling up community benefits, which will include developmental project, educational scholarship, and local job opportunities, because that has been the bane of the conflict in the years past. They talk about the company not doing enough to improve the livelihood of the community members, despite getting a lot of revenue from that area. So currently, they are mining within 23 operational areas. They've been able to attend to only 4 communities, and they say that they will up their game to make sure that they are able to provide the needs of these communities, so they will also have the peace of mind to be able to operate effectively and efficiently. Let's listen to the managing director of Asanko Mines, who has been speaking to us.
Once we are in the community, we definitely will have to encounter with people. We are not running the operation in a vacuum. So always there will be a misunderstanding, but our vision and our approach always to use dialogue to resolve any misunderstanding. We will endeavor to carry the community along, always. Let them appreciate what we stand for, as we also appreciate what they stand for, so that together we will deliver alongside our vision. And also be mindful that the government is always talking of giving back to the community, and we will strategically come out with our strategy to ensure that it's aligned with the government proposition. And
Ibrahim, we also know that the paramount chief has been speaking since the peace agreement was reached. What has he been saying?
Well, exactly. Whilst urging the youth and community members to calm down and take the peace path, and also report to him whatever the issues are, so that he also step in and resolve. He has also been charging Asanko Mines to make sure they retain some of the profit they make in the community, inject it in the local community, so that at least the residents will see the benefit of the mines in that area, and that will enable them understand the operations and allow them to work. Let's listen to what Nana Bikusi Apia, the paramount chief of Manso Kwantas, will say.
Was one thing here, some Braham. Yeah, it is a more but yeah. Namu discano quabrochira. I'm the Kakra developer. Yeah. Namukasa Buti regional consulia. And then anybody a Kobakakra. Yeah. T. Mestre, sir, Asanko Flo. Bibia Moye Bia. Monune and Suya. Yeah. Or mine. Yeah. Said the Betty Mamma Womusu. Yedi Womusu Sumata Mochi. Yeah. Bibia. And the Mestre Nana. When I'm paying for, I'm also mark a such a monk for. Sadia be all, Womoya Montiasia dia. One farmer to Edim, and yet did it. I just say, Mima yet, now find some P. Diaba. As a manson sono, ye dino, and ye papa ye my.
Well, Ibrahim, quick translation of what Nana Bikusi has been saying. Tell us.
Well, basically what he's saying is that whenever they are done with their work, they get the profit. They shouldn't send all to the foreign land. They should retain some amount of the money in the area to be able to develop the area, because they are there for the development of the area, and the people in the community must see that development manifesting there. And he also, on the other hand, he was also entreating the chiefs within the communities to talk to their subjects or their residents there, so that anytime there is misunderstanding and they should come to him, he will lead them to be able to resolve it amicably, rather than choosing the path of violence, which always gives Manson Kwanta a bad name when it comes to the public sphere.
Ibrahim Abubakar, thank you so much for the reporting. We'll now turn attention to the Western region, where Blue Water Guards in the Prisia-Huni Valley Municipal Assembly have hailed the operations of illegal miners whose activities were worsening the turbidity levels in the Ankobra River. The operation took place at Bayereja, a community in the Prisia-Huni Valley municipality, where the miners have shockingly set up their sites right beside the main road linking Hiawa to Bayereja, operating in full view of residents. Here's a report by Stephen Kujo.
A normal patrol on River Ankobra took a dramatic turn when a tip-off led the Blue Water Guard team to Bayereja, a community in the Prisia-Huni Valley municipality. At Bayereja, illegal miners have boldly set up their sites right by the main road leading to Iwa and mining in broad daylight. When the Blue Water Guards stormed the site, the miners fled into hiding, abandoning 2 pumping machines, washing board and other tools used in their operation. The guards subsequently destroyed the washing board and confiscated the machine. Commander Alana Champon is the team lead.
This morning to inspect on the Ankwa River. We saw some Galicians working just by the roadside. They fled and ran away as soon as they saw us. So we are destroying their things, we've destroyed everything. We've seized their pumping machines and some of their equipment. We've been warning them severally that they shouldn't mine by the roadside. Look at what they've done. Look what they've done. This is the road. So we have destroyed everything. We've seized their pumping machines. And we are going to report it to the police station and hand over everything to the police.
This latest operation adds to recent efforts by the Assembly to clamp down on illegal mining across the municipality. Not long ago, the Anti-Galamsey Rapid Response Team, being led by the MC Maituke Eya, stormed another Galamsey site at Bobo Wakita near Apiate. Just like in Bayereja, the miners fled the scene, leaving behind an excavator and the makeshift structures which were later set ablaze. I received information that some Chinese nationals, with the help of some few Ghanaians, were engaging in illegal mining in this area. I immediately contacted the police commander, and together with the response team, we moved swiftly to the site. Upon arrival, the illegal miners had fled, but we managed to confiscate the excavator and set fire to their makeshift structures.
But machines and excavators and any you to me to excavate and the control board. We are making arrangement for low bed near to me at excavator no ediako. Ya burning omo places almost so I honor them.
For authorities fighting Galamsey, it's a shared responsibility, and they are called on the citizenry to do the needful by reporting issues of Galamsey to the Assembly. For TV3 News, I am Stephen Kujo, Western Region, Pristia.
Now, the Association of Rice Farmers in the Mamprugu-Magduri district of the Northeast region have petitioned government over poor market and prices for their produce. The farmers, while registering their displeasure over the prices, urged government to fulfill its promise of buying surplus grains, including rice, directly from local farmers, as any further delay would cost them a severe financial loss. Recently, rice farmers in the country have faced challenges with market as several thousand metric tons of rice remain unsold. Christopher Marcus following this development and is connecting with us right now. Chris, we know government says he has released 100 million cedis to the buffer stock to buy the surplus grains. Why are the farmers still complaining?
Yes, so Mawuena, for the farmers in the Mampugu-Mogduri district of the Northeast region, they are yet to see the money that government has released because their farm produce, the surplus from last year and what they are harvesting this year is yet to be purchased by any government institution. And so they are still waiting to see people come in to buy. The worrying situation is also that the people who used to go to these areas to buy the rice have also indicated that they can only buy at a lesser price, forcing most of the farmers to give their rice to them at a very cheap price. And so they want government to fast track the buying of the surplus grains from them, just as it has indicated, so that they will also be able to pay off their loans and other debts that they incurred during the farming season. Let's take a listen to the demands and sentiments of these farmers.
Our main issue have to do with our harvesting and also for buyers. Farmers has done well to mobilize some fund to do the farming. And if you look at the district, I would say Mampugu-Mogduri district is one of the areas in Ghana that produce high quality rice in terms of quantity and even quality. So currently it's time for harvesting. But the issue right now is, if you look at even the whole district, no farmer has even a storage facility to even store our produce. And the critical part is we don't even have combined to also harvest our farm. But the lucky part, others has also brought.
So that's one of the farmers. But Chris, what has the Agric Directorate been saying about these demands, and are there any immediate plans to begin to intervene?
Yes, so the District Agric Director has only appealed to them that he will also channel their grievances to the Regional Agric Directorate for onwards submission to the Minister for Food and Agriculture. But for now, there is no immediate remedy for the plight of these farmers in the Mampugu-Mogduri and other parts of the Northeast region. Let's take a listen to what the Agric Director has been telling the farmers.
Agric Director for Mampugu-Mogduri District. I must say I'm very, very honored and humbled this morning to have welcomed the petitions of Mampugu-Mogduri Association, Rice Association, Farmers Association in terms of rice. Then also a segment of the Peasant Farmers Association within the country. Your petition has been well received. The concerns have been well noted. As I made mention earlier when I met your leaders, some of these things, steps have been underway to make sure that they mop up the rice. Your plea is that the buyers who come usually should come around. I also want to use this medium to say that those who usually come and buy, our mothers and our sisters who come to mop up the rice, should also come in. We'll receive the petition and forward it to the appropriate quarters, that is the regional office. After here, I'll just call my regional boss so that we'll liaise well and see, as a matter of urgency, to fast track things to make sure that all these concerns that have been tabled will be addressed appropriately.
Right then, Chris, we'll continue to monitor the development and then get details of it. Christopher Marco helping us end Regional Hub. And that's our bulletin for you as well this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Back again tomorrow with another exciting edition of News Central. I am Mawuena Egbeta.
And I am Kemini Amanor. Bye-bye.